The world's largest market, the European Union, is also the most culturally diverse, with different lifestyles, languages, and ways of doing business. But improving road safety, unblocking motorways and city centres, and increasing the efficiency of transport are objectives which unite all countries in Europe. The desire to travel by bus, tram, rail, car, or on foot, and to breathe unpolluted air, is universal. The decision to address these issues using transport telematics, and to do so using a pan-European multi-technology approach, has led to the development of technologies and techniques with a remarkable level of commitment and an outstanding level of cooperation. In the current phase of transport telematics research, projects are co-funded by the European Commission. They bring together more than 30 cities and 13 European transport corridors and over 500 industry, government and research partners.
I believe we are in a field where links between motorways and the information highway are being strengthened. It is an area where, with very little money, very little red tape, and really small teams, we can obtain considerable catalytic results as far as the economy and the social aspects are concerned.
What the European Union can do is to stimulate competition between the technological solutions as well as create cooperation between users, so that at the end of the day there'll be a European plan of interactive solutions developed in liaison with industry. And if Europeans do it rapidly, we'll be able to exploit our solutions on a worldwide scale.
The main challenge is not to build even more roads, but to make the best use of those we have. And telematics are the most appropriate solution.
The advantage of telematics is that you can access information and services remotely. Until recently, drivers have been cut off from useful information when they are in their vehicles. Telematics now bring information on traffic flows, bottlenecks and road conditions to the driver. Thanks to modern telecommunications, private and commercial drivers can now make informed decisions.
Since the Transport Telematics Research Program began in 1988, standardization of systems has been a central objective. Common standards and systems architectures are vital to avoid duplication and incompatibility. The European marketplace will only become attractive to European technology companies and will only provide technology of real value to drivers, system operators and public authorities when standards have been agreed. Half of the 400 million ECU so far invested in transport telematics has been provided by central and local government and by European companies. This unique public-private joint enterprise will be repaid many times over as research and development leads to implementation. Practical applications have been developed to meet real needs in this highly complex area. For example, the need to know the best possible route, how far and how long to get to a destination, and what delays might be experienced.
The main problem is to collate a large amount of travel data and then transform it into useful information for the road user, so that he can use this to decide the best way for him to travel.
We are now all familiar with traditional traffic broadcasts, but telematics takes them a stage further with language-independent systems to inform drivers, wherever they are in Europe, in their native language.
Paris. Fin prévue dans environ un quart d'heure.
In-car route guidance systems are also well advanced. Based on European digital road maps, drivers will be able to find their way wherever they are in Europe. In future, systems will receive traffic, weather and road condition messages via existing radio or mobile phone channels and will automatically select the best route. And as part of demand management strategies using dynamic guidance systems and variable message signs, drivers will be made aware of options like park and ride. But whether driving or using public transport, trip planning systems are now available which will help plan your journey, from home, from a specific point in the network, or even in the street. Travel information systems are designed to help users avoid congestion and choose new routes to reduce their journey times. But as travelers increasingly switch routes and transport modes, there will be a need to manage demand and ensure that the transport infrastructure can cope.
The main areas of our activity are providing information in the vehicle to drivers, and this is essentially done with transponders, which are also used for tolling and road pricing purposes.
Access control and automatic debiting systems are on test around Europe, and smart cards programmed with credit automatically debit vehicles each time they pass a toll point. These smart cards can also be programmed to pay fares on public transport.
We want that people who are currently using the private car and consider public transport systems as having lots of barriers, to feel that those barriers aren't actually there.
For the public transport user, dramatic improvements in real-time information systems and trip planning are making public transport an increasingly attractive option. For public transport operators, research has concentrated on systems architectures, data models and interfaces, all designed to improve operations. But with transport volumes expected to double within the next 20 years, it will be vital to ensure that improvements aren't overtaken by an increase in urban congestion. There are already numerous technologies available to traffic managers which are used to control traffic flows in the urban environment. The challenge, and one of the principal concerns of telematics researchers, is how best to bring all these systems together. For example, traffic signals control and automatic incident detection. Ultimately, it's a question of developing an appropriate computer system architecture for use in any city.
One of the main results of our research program is that traffic management functions, which previously operated separately, now work together, creating real synergies.
You have any passengers?
Junction 4 M25, we've got serious injury RTA roadblock.
Taking research a logical step further, it is also essential to make roads safer for drivers by managing and integrating interurban traffic systems. This could involve anything from a few kilometers of motorway between towns to roads stretching the length and breadth of Europe.
We've achieved a great deal out of the 12 projects that we've actually been involved with. And these will contribute significantly to the integrated concept required by the European Union.
As freight movements on trans-European transport corridors increase, satellites are being used to track and control vehicles. In addition, mobile phone systems are revolutionizing data communications between drivers and fleet operators. All these applications are helping to reduce emissions and congestion.
I expect that the types of applications that we are testing now in freight and fleet management
to be the first, say within the next 5 years, to be widely applied in Europe.
In the safety of a computer simulator, telematics systems which interact directly with the driver are under test. These look at the road conditions ahead and take account of the actions of other drivers, automatically slowing the car if necessary.
We have to rely so much on the human being. When you develop a completely automatic system, the system has to be perfect because you cannot tolerate any mistakes.
Researching how drivers, young and old, function under different workloads, how they react in poor conditions, how much time it should take them to absorb information from inside and outside vehicles is vital for the development of enhanced driver information systems. But because human beings are infinitely more complex than machines, it will be many years before fully automatic driving systems are available. However, reliable technologies in the form of intelligent cruise control are forecast to be available by the end of the century.
From the economic point of view, telematic solutions create jobs. Today's telematic solutions create new services that themselves add value and generate growth. This puts European industry in a strong position to conquer world markets.
If there are fewer injuries, fewer fatalities, less pollution, less congestion, and if we add the positive aspects to the reduction of the negative aspects, I believe the result will be quite dramatic.
The Transport Telematics Research Programme is a major success story for the European Union. The implementation of the results of this research is now on the agenda of policy and decision makers. The future will see the realization of a long-term technological vision, the vision of uniting Europe through transport telematics.